Hello, and welcome back to another RiftGuides WildRift video. We are back, and what is going on today? Well, we are going to watch a Tryndamere gameplay. As of recently, there has been so many Tryndamere players in my games in general and overall that I just got curious, like, what happened? Why are people picking Tryndamere more often now? And well, one thing could be having the one-shot meta in place. Having a champion that doesn't instantly die could be a very good pickup for that one. So what about picking or playing just Tryndamere more often? So for this, we have a Chinese Tryndamere jungle gameplay. In the distant past, Tryndamere jungle was horrendously broken because his third ability by the way, reset on crits in jungle. What it does now is, well, they removed that interaction. And if you're wondering, why is that guy starting chickens? Well, for one thing, he wants to get the rage from the chickens because there are multiple monsters, and then he wants to clear towards his top side, as it seems. Alternatively, he could have done, well, something similar on the Crux, but it would have taken a lot more time. And with the recent changes as well to Tryndamere's first ability, granting him even more AD, it's a very nice pickup to have. But if you see, like, if he crit during the jungle clear, in the past he would like lose 2 seconds or something of his third ability in terms of cooldown, and do this jungle clear so unbelievably fast. So what is the cool thing about Tryndamere, and why does he not die? Okay, his ultimate ability allows him to not die for 5 seconds. And it also grants him a big bunch of attack speed once he skills it for the passive component. Well, his top lane already died as he was making his way down there, so he has to salvage the play. The Renekton is probably gonna escape here, unless he makes a severe mistake, which he did use both charges of his third ability, so it's very likely that the Renekton is just being ran down. Yep, and it happens because the Renekton used all the abilities on the camps. Now the set is coming around the corner, but the Tryndamere is turning around, has the lethal tempo still pre-stacked, spins on his head, and gets the next kill. Like, there are a few things you never want to do, and that is fighting a fully lethal tempo stacked Tryndamere. Not only this, but like the sheer damage he has when it happens, right? It's completely underrated when he just spins on you. And in late game, I bet you, how many of you that play AD carry have faced off against a Tryndamere, just relentlessly pummeled you into the ground and just walked off into the sunset? And if there's some crazy, like what is he? Okay, goes for literally Magnetic Blaster first item, no AD apart from boots, and just Magnetic Blaster. What is bro cooking? That is some weird ass dish that I've never seen before, but I'm curious to try and use this gameplay to make sense of this. So, trying to understand this from my point of view, okay, if the enemy team has range and Tryndamere is a melee champion, basically a melee AD carry, very fragile outside of his ultimate ability, he obviously has issues to reach. If the enemy team has a lot of peel, a lot of lockdown, it gets very difficult for him to reach the target, so he wants the extra range from Magnetic Blaster. But is it really the right thing to do? Like, he gains more attack speed and all, and crit at the same time, and some decent burst with Magnetic Blaster proc, but is it going to be enough pops to Ghost here? Goes after the Jhin, has ultimate available, gets the first kill, now the Set is on the run, has second ability available, slows him down, and now walks after him. Set will have a shadow very soon, but the Tryndamere just doesn't have to care. Pops the first ability, doesn't even pop ult because he doesn't have to, and gets a big healing chunk. Now the Morgana is trying her turn with him. He's not moving for a long time, but it will not be enough to actually spell the end for the Tryndamere because of his ultimate ability and the first ability's healing capabilities. So Tryndamere is basically running in circles on this map, just laughing at the enemy. The first component, the Zeal, is being picked into the inventory, more movement speed, crit and attack speed, right into the hands of the Tryndamere, everything he needs. In a distant past on League PC, there was a meta, when you remember, where people built multiple Zeal items. Like multiple Zeals, in fact, because the item was so busted. Like, I think you bought a BF sword, and then you went into Zeal. Like, Zeal. Because the item was so crazy. And his team is really having a rough time. He has 4 kills out of the 6 on the map. And his team is not really enjoying this one so far. And I'm curious to see what the Tryndamere will do as the game progresses, how he can actually take over the game, and what he needs to do to close out this very long and painful game. Has ultimate available in 3 seconds now. This could be an easy dive with Tryndamere ult being available. All that needs to happen is the Tryndamere has to tank. His teammate is falling instantly, but the Tryndamere is still fine. Pops the ult, but has to walk away now. The Zed escaped the play as well, and sadly he didn't get any kill. And his Yasuo just died on the spot. Nice trap into the brush. The Orianna is very close here. Orianna, why didn't Orianna just instantly ult? Maybe she was afraid that he would dodge, but now he just walks melee range into the enemy. I think Orianna might be playing from Mars. Maybe. Maybe. Because that was definitely a tiny bit weird. Magnetic Blaster now being picked up. Nice try by the Lux to snipe the Herald as they committed onto that one. Now he is pinging for the dragon. This seems more like a mental support kind of play than anything else. Tryndamere without ultimate and ghost feels very bad, and the value you gain from dragons in general is just not really good. And honestly, it's funny to say that the Ice Dragon is probably the best dragon you can get early game simply for the amount of haste you gain, because it's close to a Ring of Revelation. And that's close to 400 gold because all the other things just grant you basically nothing. We see a play engaging up there. The Jonathan is nearly killing the Varus. Varus is on 1 HP. Jonathan had enough. Tryndamere goes over the wall for the Janna. Janna pops the ultimate and runs away from this play again. And now the Zed is in the pit with the dragon. Who gets the dragon? 65 HP into Orianna gets the dragon. And the Tryndamere pops the first ability to survive the onslaught. And now we have another problem. Jonathan Wick is on the move here again. We have the ultimate available. Janna is now caught off guard. The hunt down, the run down onto the Jean happens. Jumps over the wall. Gets the kill, use the first ability to avoid certain death. And you see the power of the Tryndamere, the power of running people down. And somehow, the Morgana is wiping the floor with the backline. That seems so weird. But yeah, WildRift is in such a weird state where a lot of the item builds you see are so messed up. And the thing is, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't even matter because you one-shot regardless. So only in games that will be super close or where you have to basically carry everyone on your back, your item choices matter. Other than this, as long as you build somewhat on theme, as I always say, you'll be more than okay. And yeah, I'd be curious to see what in this game, how much damage he's going to deal, and how he's realistically going to go through Morgana and Janna. Because how's that supposed to happen? Janna is one of the most broken peel supports that you can think of, and now we have a player on the other side of the map here close to him. He goes in, locates the enemy, the Zed uses the ultimate onto the poor Yasuo, and the Renekton is slowly killing that guy, and now flashes the wall into Morgana is here at the scene as well. Renekton just too tanky, probably has plated steel caps. And yeah, Morgana just weirdly, Morgana has a Zhonya's already, and yet the Tryndamere will finally fall. 400 gold shut down into the hands of the Renekton. But even though many people would say Renekton is decent in lane, he has very big issues carrying games, because it's still Renekton. He has to somewhat get to you. And he usually, if he goes full damage, dies instantly. He doesn't have the quote-unquote luxury Tryndamere has, in the sense of having the ultimate ability that will allow him to at least survive one final onslaught, like for 5 seconds. In these 5 seconds, the Renekton has already died multiple times over, because if you go full damage on Renekton, well, you need to go true full damage, because otherwise you don't do anything. Next play probably going to be centered around the next Ghost and ult cooldown, because otherwise we will not see him probably reach the enemy backline. Infinity Edge being picked up. With Infinity Edge in the pocket now, we have, I think with passive fully stacked, we have 100% crit. And if we hit an enemy squishy, you'll probably see them explode faster than you can imagine. You should have a lot of bonus damage here. And the Zed goes for the quick assassination on the Jhin, on the Varus, I mean. goes in, gets thrown around by the Janna, and they all use summoner spells, and the Yasuo picks up the fruit for no reason, just takes it away from the poor Tryndamere. Red buff just has spawned, and we'll pick up the red buff here while the Renekton is pummeling down the side lane tier 2. Zed tried to steal this red buff from the Tryndamere, but the 176 or whatever HP it was, he collects the red buff for himself. Blue buff, unironically, like jungle buffs on Tryndamere, be it red or blue, are so broken. Because the thing is, blue with the insane ability haste and red buff with the insane slow for melee champions is just so unbelievably OP. Like, if there's one thing to this day I wish to be changed or somewhat reduced, it's red buff slow. Red buff slow is probably the least fun thing to ever play against. It really hurts. Because you're like, yeah, I'm fine, I'm walking away, and you're like, wait, why am I not moving? Is this Nasus Wither on me? No, it's actually just red buff. And then you just get depressed and die. Oh, they're having so many accidents against the assassin. They're just walking into places where they should never be, and now the enemy frontline is walking in using every cooldown. Nice shockwave by the Orianna, the Renekton finally falls, the Jhin is on the run. We see a big chunk hit onto the poor Jhin's head as well. And now, this game is still very much winnable for the Tryndamere. But again, he has 50% of the kills of the entire game. So we have to keep that in mind. And man, I really wish there was less damage in the game. It's so stressful to play nowadays, because everything that touches you just explodes you. By the way, I played a game on Ezreal, like, where I got brain damage, number one. And I even had to play, listen to this, I had to play Hack/Ezreal. Can you imagine a world in which Hack/Ezreal is actually a thing, because everything that touches my pinky toe instantly demolishes me. It was a 26-minute game of pain, where 3 of the teammates chose to run down on cooldown, and my second death lost me the game. Because the enemy team surrounded me like the police force, and cut all escape paths, and flashed onto my forehead. And plated steel caps are as broken as usual. Hunts down him, gets the kill thanks to the Chains of Corruption of the Varus. And Orianna is always late to the party, but make sure to pick up the minions. Yoink. It is a tough day to be a WildRift gamer. Massive wave on the top side of the map could be collected by the Tryndamere to just get some extra gold into the pockets. Should at least be close. Yes. Oh, they actually give it to him. Nice one. That's very, very good. Looking at the enemy team has now to debate if he wants to go for anti-healing or for even more damage. And the question is, does the enemy team require you to go for anti-healing at this point, or is there any better applicant on your team, which theoretically speaking should be Orianna? The Tryndamere should not be forced to build Mortal Reminder and should rather be happy or put into a space or spot where he goes for, what is it called? Terminus. Because Mortal Reminder is very expensive and doesn't really provide you with too much. Whereas Terminus provides you with quite a lot of things if you're allowed to pick up this item. Enemy team is running down mid lane while Renekton is catching attention on the side lane, however falls to the Orianna, and the enemy team is still running down mid lane. The rotational path is being cut, so he has to walk the long way. Hits her once, sends her basically back into the healing chamber, and somehow the Orianna didn't instantly die to the Zed ultimate's pop. Deathmark not enough at this point of the game as it seems, or you missed a spell, so yeah, things can happen. Luxus used ultimate to check for Nashor, just to see if they have to really fear a potential play there. Man, this poor Tryndamere. His teammates really do not want to play the game to a remotely proper level, because every single 2 seconds you will see that the set will be able to just get a free pick. Because number one, the Yasuo is the only one that can reliably side lane, but is he strong enough to deal with Renekton? And if he's not strong enough to deal with Renekton, then he'll just constantly die to him, and none of the other people like either Varus, Orianna, or Lux can go side lane, because the Zed will just pick them up continuously. And yeah, as it seems, they just picked up the Yasuo as well, who walked into the river for no reason, with no objective being available. So yeah, definitely not a good look. Anti-Gleam being picked up by the Tryndamere. Now they start up the Baron, and you have to be, what? Huh? Lux just died, okay, but they have to be really careful against the Tryndamere, because Tryndamere can just stand in the pit for so long, popping the ultimate and just killing Nashor without any problem. Goes in now. Oh, he doesn't press smite. No way. It could have been such a beautiful play, and now the set comes in and the Tryndamere will certainly fall. Oh, that's so sad. If he presses smite there, it's such a good play. He had it. That's sad. But the enemy team is playing a lot better on many levels than his team, and it's very difficult for Tryndamere to function this game. It's borderline impossible, to be honest, right? But yeah, sad that it didn't work out for him, but the game isn't over yet. You know WildRift, you know the game of throws, and it will happen over and over again, and nobody stops at any point. They just keep on rushing into a wall, bashing the head into a wall in hopes of it working. And well, more than often enough, it actually does work, for whatever reason. WildRift, am I right? So what is going to happen next? Dragon has been picked up by the enemy team, so no soul for anyone this entire game. Would have been clear already. So the question is, how is this even possible? Like, we are reaching the 17-minute mark, and now Morgana becomes one of the scariest champion ever. And Zed just goes in for a play, gets the free stasis. Stasis cooldown a lot higher than the Zed ultimate cooldown at this point. And Morgana turns into a bigger problem by the second. The puddles on the floor are only as limited as her access to blue buff is. So if she gets a blue buff continuously at this point of the game, you have one of the scariest champions possible. She will not instantly kill you, know, but she'll make your life miserable, placing down the puddles and making sure you die. And for some reason she gets hit by Chains of Corruption and dies instantly. So something just really went wrong. We have Jonathan Wick here, but Jonathan Wick can't escape the wrath of the Tryndamere, and now we have that happening, what should never happen. Somehow, magically, Morgana is being caught by Chains of Corruption on max range, and the entire enemy constellation falls apart. Morgana stays in front of them, and she just got killed. That is something you hate to see. Elder spawning in about 4 seconds, 3 people down on the enemy team and 1 person dead on his team. It could very much be a possibility for Elder. Need to be careful though, don't have ultimate, no ultimate available equals Zed just instantly kills you. 25 seconds and the enemy will come back alive already in about 5, so this could be a very big risk to actually do this. Renekton already in place, clearing out the vision here, control ward in the pit. Now the enemy Zed goes in, goes for a quick little play. Stasis happens very fastly and he gets one shot. The life of Tryndamere without ultimate. The classic. The Yasuo is getting continuously knocked up as well as the Orianna by the Janna tornadoes. They just spam that one and make life awful. Tryndamere swap to teleport. As per usual, a typical trick you need to have on your mind when you play WildRift as you hit mid to late game. You want to swap your teleport while you're dead to teleport your enchantment to teleport, because you will have a cooldown. Roughly that's the timer of your death timer, and then if something happens you'll be able to respond fast enough. It's very, very important to keep that in mind, because otherwise you might not be available or able to go for a play that otherwise you could have. So yeah, the biggest limitation of Tryndamere, as per usual, is just his ultimate and summoner spells. And in this instance, also enchantments. Like, if QSS is on cooldown, life becomes so difficult. Ideally, nice pick onto the Morgana. Ideally, he looks for flanks, because with flanks, he actually gains the ability to not play into their front line, like their CC and peel, but attack them from behind, so at least they might not notice fast enough, and then therefore instantly die. Because it's still, Tryndamere is a melee range 80 carry. So yeah, his damage is quite interesting once you get to a later point in the game. Nice chance of corruption onto the Renekton. Renekton instantly falls. QSS being popped here. Tryndamere pops the ultimate as well. Goes forward. The Elder Dragon is going crazy on that guy. Falls to the Shuriken. But 3 people of the enemy team die on the spot. Now the Varus is running down the Janna. 4 people dead now. So only 1 person is left alive. And that's the Morgana with Elder Dragon. Unless she didn't get Elder when they killed Elder. And it seems she doesn't have Elder, given the missing particle effects around her. So yeah, if this Morgana had Elder, enjoy trying to push. You will not. You will just die. And yeah, going for Nasher is the best available play. They could have probably gone for this a lot earlier, because if the enemy team has TPs now, things could get a little bit scary. Morgana comes in. If she placed the puddle a tiny bit better, she would have probably stolen this one, and the game would have been over. But yeah. Tryndamere being alive again, Zed just lost his Edge of Night, and the Varus is very close, had to already pop the Zhonya's. Now the Zed pops the Zhonya's, the first one falls, and the Zed will escape this play. Now the Orianna is on the run. The Jonathan Wick is going forward. Janna pops the ultimate instantly, but it's not fast enough to cancel the Tryndamere's dash forward before the Jhin dies. Tryndamere is on the hand, pops the Ghost, looks for the Zed here. He wants to run him down, gets towards him, flashes away, tries to run as fast as he can, pops the QSS to not... look, it's so impossible to catch a Zed. Like, he has blue buff, and every single time he hits it with his 3rd ability, he gets a cooldown refund on his 2nd ability. And since they have no cooldowns anyway, you best believe that this guy's jumping around through space and time on cooldown without you being able to do much about this. It's just a pain to deal with. Luckily, Zed usually dies if he does something bad in an instant. When it pops the Shockwave, enemy Morgana pops the Stasis. Tryndamere has to ult here on the spot, runs at the enemy, has to run out instantly because the enemy spells are just too annoying to deal with, and Jonathan Wick collects the kills here, collected. Does the Lux have the fancy feet? And she does have the fancy feet, escapes nearly imminent doom here. GA is still being available, so given the bottom left build, what we can assume is, with GA in his build right now, that we'll swap it to Twin God the moment it goes on cooldown. And yeah, Twin God providing you some crowd control reduction, as well as good defensive stats. It's not a very bad pickup, but the question is, does it even make a difference? Because you have your 5 seconds of ultimate anyway, so why not commit for more damage? Renekton pops the ult, Elder being slowly taken away. Vision Ward being cleared, Renekton falls on the spot, but they might take Elder. They now just took Elder, and Morgana is still alive. They kill the poor Crocodile. But now the Zed is being in the front line. Now finally, he gets the flank. He got the flank, pops the ult early enough so he doesn't die instantly. Gets all the kills. Gets popped into the GA, but Jonathan Wick also falls, and now he finally got off the flank that got the entire enemy team wiped. Without this flank, it would have been impossible. Massive bot wave also coming. Zed is cutting the wave, but there's also a massive top wave. Not everybody has to chase the Zed. Some people actually have to try to go for a play on the map, because otherwise the Zed is just running circles around them, and this play, all the kills have been completely for naught. Nice ult by the Zed. Zed still has Elder, needs to be really careful. Anything that touches them might get them killed. Zed, nice stasis here onto the Orianna ult and the Lux ult. And the Zed played for so much time. If you see the top wave, it was massive. Now with this done, they will actually be able to pick up Nashor. So now with GA on cooldown, the item is literally worthless, so he just swaps to another item, which in this case is probably going to be Twin Guard. He takes a lot of time of swapping, relatable, could be me, could be me. And Renekton is really running down the side lane right now. You see that showing no mercy, just keeps on walking forward. Zed's still dead for a long time. This Nashor is a late game Nashor, so it does a lot of damage, but they have shielding, and it provides a lot of stats, since Nashor stats scale with game time. Will this game go for another Elder? Will this game end earlier? He takes it upon himself to clear the side wave, to make sure he doesn't lose to random minions. Because it's the worst feeling. I can't count the amount of times I've actually lost to minions in sideways because I'm forced to make a terrible decision. And one decision is worse than the other, but I have to make one and hope it works. Renekton just jumping onto the Lux because the Lux thought it's a good idea to face check enemy jungle at 26 minutes into the game. Whereas flashes over the wall, gets freeze planted, cryo planted. Now the Tryndamere is in the forefront. Pops the ultimate, also the QSS is 1 HP, has to walk away. The Twin Guard is keeping him alive and safe. And now he's just quickly taking care of these minions here. The Gluttonous Grease are providing him with so much healing. And it's so difficult to play this champion when it comes to these type of champions on the enemy team. 33 seconds for his ultimate ability, Twin Guard being popped right now. But he can only buff up the minions and then just walk away, wait for another tower. Goes in, one-shots the Morgana because she goes too close. Baron Nashor for another 10 seconds. They could have maybe defended if they really tried. However, it doesn't work out for them. And with this, the Tryndamere actually wins the game. That was insane. The enemy Zed tried really hard to get something done, but he just couldn't. Tryndamere just did too much work, just too much damage. And yeah, as per usual, thank you all for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, check out the description so you see the channel, and we'll see each other for more RiftGuides content very soon. And yeah, take care, goodbye.